Hey everyone, welcome to Homestead Corner. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about what we can do to prepare for the possibility of an economic collapse. Unfortunately, we are in rough times right now. The debt of our country is really, really high, much higher than the GDP, which when things get topsy-turvy like that, if you look at other countries, a lot of countries have collapsed when stuff like this happens. And we have all this other stuff in play right now. I know most of you, I'm sure, have heard of the Great Reset. If you have not heard about it, definitely I recommend going to the World Economic Forum and checking out the Great Reset. It is definitely something that you want to know about if you don't. It's been out for years on the internet. You can see all about it. It is absolutely insane, in my opinion, but it is out there and it is something that looks like this is what is happening. If you read down through it, you will see there are steps to do this, and some of this stuff has already happened, and it is what it is. So I think it is important for us to prepare if we get to that point where, let's say, the economy did collapse. It would be absolutely devastating for most people. And, people that are, especially on fixed incomes, things like that, people that, are dependent on Social Security and those sorts of things, it would be absolutely devastating for them. But even the working class, it would be devastating for them as well. Lots of people have purchased new homes in the last couple of years or still owe money on their homes, even if you bought your house 10 years ago. A lot of people owe money on their homes, and if you default in that, these banks and stuff are not going to care. So there are a few things that you can do to prepare for this type of situation. Nothing is foolproof and nothing is set in stone that it will happen. But being prepared for it can help you and your family get through it easier, I think. And lots of other countries, people that were more prepared fared better through a collapse and economic troubles. So one of the first things that I think is super important is getting stocked up on necessities, food, water, things like that, things that you are going to absolutely need. Seeds included. Because if you are unable to go to the store, you would be able to hopefully grow your own food as much as you can, and barter for other things. And even though we all stock up on different types of items and foods and things like that, in an economic collapse, that is a long-term thing. It's not going to be fixed overnight. It's not going to be a quick fix. It would be, many countries, it is decades long. So I think that's something we need to look at and be prepared for. If something like that happens, we are able to step up and get things done for our families, ourselves, and not rely on anybody else. The second thing I think is really important is lowering your bills. I know we have all buckled down recently, and there may be more things that you can lower, maybe there aren't, but lowering your bills to the bare minimum, I think, is a great thing to do. It helps you live within your means and be able to do the things that you need to do without creating all kinds of debt and things like that. That would be the third thing, would be trying to eliminate debt. I definitely think stocking up on food, water, supplies would be first. And then, if you have debt, working on getting that debt down, especially your home, your car, things like that. Those are the things that you need to worry about the most, I think, in a collapse, because you are going to need a place to live. You do not want to lose your home. And number 4, when you start growing your own food as much as you can, that will help lower your bills and money that you need to put out. It'll make it so you don't need to spend as much, and you can put that money in other places that are more important. And I definitely think it is so important for people to grow their own food. Number 5 is create a emergency fund if you can. I know for a lot of lower income people, it is extremely difficult to create an emergency fund, but even if it's just a little bit, having some cash on hand in the very beginning, the first couple of weeks of a collapse, the money may be worth a little bit. You may be able to get people to take it. Most likely, a whole bunch of money isn't going to do you any good. Stashing $100,000 isn't going to help you, because after a very short time, the money's going to be worth nothing. And you can see that if you look at other countries that have collapsed. You will see, like Venezuela, that's one of the most recent ones that collapsed. If you look at videos, that money's blowing around in the streets because it has zero value. It's no good to anybody because the cost of everything is so high. Those bills mean nothing. And number 6, stock up on barter items. Barter items are great for those things that you forgot, you run out of, or you need to trade to get something, a service or something like that. Barter items, I think, are super important, and I think more people should barter. Even today, all the time. 10 years ago, I love bartering. I try to barter with my friends and neighbors and things like that. So it's helpful for all of us to get the things we need when money is only going to buy those things right now, but later on down the road, that may not be the case. And if you're already bartering and feeling comfortable with that, it is much easier for everybody. And number 7, pay attention to what you're eating and trying to eat more healthy. I think that's important. More fresh foods if you can, mixed in with your staple items and stuff like that. A lot of times in a collapse, people will be, foraging, growing as much food as they can. So they're eating a lot more fresh foods. And if you are already working on being in better condition health-wise, more physically fit, I'm not talking you need to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anything, you just being more fit so you can go out and do those things, walk an extra 15 minutes and, or whatever it is that you do for exercise. Gardening is great exercise. It's great for the soul. It's excellent therapy. I am always happy when I'm out digging in the garden. We've been poking around out here the best we can, getting a few things planted that can handle the colder temps at night, because we're still getting frost at nighttime, but we're trying to get as much done as we can to get going. And that is great therapy. It's calming, soothing, and it's also great exercise. So it helps get that back stronger, your core muscles stronger. So the better condition you're in and the more healthy you are, the easier it is to get into a groove. And number 8, when you need learn self-defense. I think self-defense is really important. Being prepared to take care of yourself, and situational awareness, I think, is right in there too. Paying attention to what's going on around you. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff lately. People getting robbed at the grocery stores, getting robbed in parking lots. It is absolutely insane how much crime and stuff is going on right now, and it's only going to get worse as things get harder. We've got all these food shortages and things like that, and it's going to continue to get worse. So the crime is just going to get worse and worse. So being able to defend yourself and paying attention to what is going on around you is really going to be helpful for you. Beef up your home security. Definitely, whatever your home security looks like, go over it, beef it up if you can, get it to be more secure in your home. If you can do cameras or lights, Make sure you have a firearm. You need self-defense. You have to be able to defend yourself. And if you're stocking up on foods or supplies or anything like that, you need to be able to defend it. I know a lot of people don't think they are going to have to do that, but there are a lot of people out there that believe that you have it and you owe it to them. So you would more than likely have to defend it, and you need to be prepared for that. So beefing up your home security any way that you can, I think, is a really good idea, and as soon as possible, because things are just, they get. And number 10, and I think this is the very last thing that you do, because it is, other things are so much more important, is investing in precious metals, silver, gold. Some people do bronze, copper, things like that. It is totally up to you if you decided to do that. I don't think it would be helpful right away in a collapse. Good barter items if someone is looking for it, but if someone is needing beans or matches, they're not going to care about a piece of silver or gold. Honestly, they're going to need what they need. So I think that it is the last thing really that you would work on. If you have everything else in place, I would look into, some sort of precious metals, because in other countries that always seems to be what they resort to. That's what they use when their money fails. You see other countries are on the gold standard, and they tie their money to gold, and that way the money holds value because of the gold and silver. And gold and silver have been around forever, and it has been the currency of forever. So just recently in the last 50 years is something that they have kind of shied away from. But I definitely believe that if there was a collapse, it would turn to gold and silver. And if you have the ability to put some away to help you later on, I think. And this list really is something to use to help trigger thoughts and things like that, get you prepared. And I don't want this to be frightening in any way. That's not what this is about. This is about being prepared so you're not scared. And I really think that preparedness it helps calm you and soothe you. It does me anyway. Knowing that I'm prepared for different situations helps me stay calm and think level-headed. And I think that's how it should be for everybody. And just knowing that you're going to be okay if something happens is a really big weight off your shoulders. As if you're sitting there saying, I have no food, I have no money saved, I have no supplies, I have nothing, that's kind of worrisome when stuff really hits the fan. And I think that being just a little bit prepared for different situations can really help you out with reducing stress and being able to think level-headedly about it. And I think that's really what preparedness is and should be. And that is it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.